Hey guys, it's Christina with My Confection Obsession, and today we're going to be making a unicorn cake. So there's literally nothing more trendy right now than a unicorn cake, but I actually haven't seen many that use black as a base color. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be making a unicorn cake that's primarily using black icing because I think the contrast is going to look really pretty and striking. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I have in front of me is a 6-inch 4-layer cake. I did want a little bit of height on this, and this has already been crumb coated. And so what I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to use my black icing to continue to frost this and make it nice and smooth. So if you haven't already watched my quick tip on how to make black buttercream, go ahead and do that. That link is in the show notes. So I did use that to make this icing. So now that I have my cake frosted and it's nice and smooth, I'm gonna go ahead and put it into the refrigerator just to crust a little bit while I work on the unicorn ears and the horn. Okay, so what I'm gonna go ahead and do is I'm gonna use black fondant for the unicorn ears. And I actually just purchased mine. I'm using satin ice fondant. So you guys have heard me say before, you can make black fondant, it's just pretty difficult. So I just like to buy it. So the link for that's in the show notes. So for our ears, we are going to want to make them pretty thick because they do need to stand up on the cake. And I actually recommend that you do this ahead of time so that they will harden a little bit, so they'll stand up a little bit easier. So rolling out my fondant here. And I'm just going to freehand my ear. I'm actually going to insert some toothpicks into the bottom so that these can stick into the cake. And so you do want this to harden a little bit so that it stays up easier. And I actually prepared some ears ahead of time so that I can continue to decorate them. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to add a little bit of fondant here, just for a little bit of detail. So for this, I'm using my homemade marshmallow fondant recipe that's also in the show notes. So I'm going to soften it up a little bit. Remember, if it's a little bit hard, you can put it into the microwave for 5-second increments or 5 to 10 seconds. It softens really fast, so you want to be careful. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to go ahead and adhere the inner part of the ear to the outer part. For this, I'm going to be using my Wilton dab and hold. So my plan is to use silver for the ear. I'm also going to use silver for the horn as well as the eyes. And this is edible food coloring in the metallic, and I'll put this in the show notes also. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and set those aside, and I'm going to work on our unicorn's horn. So for this, I'm gonna be using fondant again, our marshmallow fondant. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna split this into two, and I'm essentially making like two carrot shapes. So when you have the shape that you like, what you're gonna do is insert a cake pop stick just through the bottom. And what you want to do is you want this to dry pretty much completely. And so I actually recommend making this a day ahead of time. So I'm actually gonna wait to paint the horn until I actually put it on the cake. So this is one that I made last night, and you can see that it's really hard. So that's what you want, that way that it's stable and it'll be supported when we put it on the cake. So what I'm gonna do is I'm actually going to go ahead and place our ears and horn on our cake. So I'm gonna be really careful when I do this, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and use silver. So before I paint these on, I'm actually gonna use my fondant tool to mark where I want the eyes to go. So I'm using a really fine-tipped, like a firm bristle paintbrush to paint the eyes on. And I'm gonna use silver. I'm gonna carefully follow the lines I just made. And I'm painting directly onto the buttercream. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start randomly piping some like flowers and just like little spurts of color in here so it looks like the unicorn's mane. So now that we have our mane on here, I actually decided that this horn color doesn't really go, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and actually replace it with a silver horn. So the last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pipe just a little border around our bottom so this looks cleaner. So our unicorn cake is done, and I think it turned out really cute. I love how the black looks against the bright colors, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, go ahead and give this episode a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter.